What is going on, everybody? So I'm back today to talk about a film that was released last year that I had no idea anything about it until Red Letter Media recently did their recap of movies that they've seen. And this one intrigued me because of the premise, and so I was like, you know what? I'll go watch it and see what I think about it. And I really enjoyed this movie. It was definitely really unique. It was a very character-driven film, and the movie I'm going to be talking about today is All My Friends Hate Me. All My Friends Hate Me is directed by Andrew Gaynord. Genuine but increasingly insecure Pete is cautiously excited about reigniting with his college crew for a birthday weekend of memories, partying, and earnest reconnection at a picturesque English manor. So our lead character Pete lives at home with his girlfriend who he wants to propose to. We're given insight into that he's going away for his birthday. He's going to this manor in the middle of nowhere, and he's excited but he's a little reluctant about going as well because he makes it apparent to his girlfriend that his friends haven't really grown up, and he talks about how he, for his career, works with refugees and he does all this really great work. None of his friends have really grown up, but they want to do this thing for him, so he's trying to get himself excited, and so he leaves. His girlfriend's going to come eventually to be there with him, but she has to do some things before she can come out, so he drives there by himself. And when he's on the way there, all this weird shit happens before he gets to the house. He's driving and he stops, and there's this old guy who he's asking for directions. It's almost like something out of a horror movie where the way that he delivers the dialogue to him to give him directions, you feel kind of unsettled. And then he pulls over at one point, and there's this dog out on a leash, and there's this car that is crashed into the middle of nowhere, and it's covered in mud. And there's this guy, and he goes to check on this guy, and the guy gets out of the car and starts screaming at him and chasing after him, and he gets in his car and he drives off. Well, when he gets to the house, he opens the door and none of his friends are in there. They're all gone, and he literally sits in the house by himself from when it's day out until the middle of the night. And his friends all show up, and that's when things start to take a turn for the worse, so to speak. So this movie is literally all about character dynamic. The whole film is built around our lead character Pete and all of his friends that we're introduced to. This couple who's there together, where it's the guy's parents' house. There's the two of them in a really good relationship. Then you have this girl who Pete was interested in, and they were sleeping together for a while, where there's some tension, where there was mention that she tried to kill herself, and they think that it's correlated to the fact that Pete wasn't trying to date her. So when that information is revealed that Pete is interested in proposing to his current girlfriend, they say, hey, don't bring it up to her because of the things that she's been through that circumstance. You have another guy who's always on drugs. He's out of his mind. And then you have this guy who they randomly picked up at a bar in town, brought him over, and he's kind of weird and seemingly trying to get at Pete and make his life miserable. And so this whole thing is about character dynamic. And what's so impressive is when you get to the third act and find out what's going on, you realize how important the filmmaking decisions early on in this movie are to kind of build you up to get you to that point. And like I said, this whole film is about character dynamic and about the anxiety of our lead character, because he truly feels like, although these people are touting themselves to be his friends, that they're trying to make his life miserable. And it feels that way as an audience member when you're watching the movie. The things that they do and the way that they act towards him is almost like they're just giving him shit for what he's doing in his life now. They want him to be miserable. And so the movie at its core is kind of looking at a person who's getting to a certain age where their life is changing and they're trying to be a better person, but they're also having a hard time reconnecting with who they were as a person before. And are they being too heavily judgmental on the people who they used to love so much and be so close to? Is there validity in the actions that they're doing and the ways that they're feeling? And that's what this movie is. It's just really an anxiety-ridden nightmare that I really enjoyed. I had a couple problems with it. I think there's a few pacing issues in the movie. Not to say that it's slow or anything, but it's only an hour and a half. And there's a couple moments where I felt like it could have been executed a little better. But it all takes place in this house and a surrounding bar. And so the cinematography is utilized really well to create that super creepy atmosphere. It really does feel like a horror movie for a long runtime of the movie. It's all about that tension and that atmosphere. And by the third act, you're just like on edge about every single thing that is occurring. It just shows that whoever wrote this movie is a really talented screenwriter, because you're so invested with everything that's going on with these characters, and it's just little information that's conveyed to you. It's nothing super wild or over the top. It's very like straightforward and giving you insight into our lead character and why he is the way that he is, and then building around these other characters, and you're trying to figure out who you can trust and who you can't trust. And I love films like that. This movie is one that you go into it blind, and it's just a really fun thrill ride from start to finish, and I'd highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it yet. So have you seen All My Friends Hate Me? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this was a really unique and interesting story, and I had a lot of fun watching it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new videos and look forward to getting more out in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.